It's time to wake you people up with some facts and truth. Now, good morning.
Good morning.
Yo, what's good, my people? This your boy, Mr. 6'5". Now, I know we are all tired of hearing about this damn virus. Hell, I'm even more sick of reporting this shit to y'all. And I'm even more sick of talking about vaccines. And as we get more closer to this vaccination rollout, the real question my people should be, will it be mandatory? Recently, Jason Goodman at Crowdsource the Truth did an interview with Alan Dershowitz. And Alan Dershowitz made some very bold, controversial ass statements. Listen.
Have no constitutional right to endanger the public and spread a disease, even if you disagree. You have no right not to be vaccinated. You have no right not to wear a mask. You have no right to open up your business.
Wait, can I stop you? No right not to be vaccinated, meaning if they decide you have to be vaccinated, we have to be vaccinated?
Absolutely. And if you refuse to be vaccinated, the state has the power to literally take you to a doctor's office and plunge a needle into your arm. If the vaccination
Where is that in the Constitution?
If the vaccination is designed to prevent the spreading disease. If the vaccination is only to prevent a disease that you will get, for example, if there's a disease that will kill you, you have the right to refuse that, but you have no right to refuse to be vaccinated against a contagious disease. Public health, the police power of the Constitution, gives the state the power to compel that, and there are cases in the United States that bring.
Now, I know many of you like, who the hell is this and what the fuck is he talking about? Well, my people, Alan Dershowitz was a very high-profile lawyer who represent President Donald Trump, O.J. Simpson, and many other high-profile clients. So what the fuck is he talking about? Forced vaccinations? My nigga, that shit can't happen here in America. The U.S. Supreme Court upheld a decision that established the so-called constitutionality of compulsory state vaccination, laws to protect the public health. In other words, the greater goods for the states, not you as an individual. This case right here, my people, is known as Jacobson versus Massachusetts. This was during the smallpox epidemics. And no, I'm not about to go into it about smallpox. However, we're going to look at the relevance of this case of today. The state of Massachusetts back in those days in the early 1900s mandated vaccinations for the smallpox. Jacobson refused and he was fined and also thrown into jail. And he appealed and the case went to the Supreme Court. And Jacobson also involved his constitutional protected rights, which is underneath the 14th Amendment right, which is no state shall make or enforce any law or bridging privileges of immunity citizens of the United States of America or deprive any person of life or liberty or property without due process of law. The Supreme Court ultimately ruled in favor of the state and ruled against Jacobson and recognize each state, quote, police power, which gives the states authority to enact health laws of every description, including quarantine and vaccination, laws to protect the public health and safety of its citizens as a whole, not an individual, because it's all for the greater good of the states, so they say. I pray that you people will understand where I'm going with this. Now, Jacobson voiced concerns about the safety of the vaccine, which was backed up by some medical physicians who backed up his claims. But the court ruled when determined the legality of the statute and acted to protect the public health and safety. The court found it immaterial that the portions of the medical community thought that vaccines were worthless or even injurious. In other words, causing injuries. They found that immaterial, my people. They continue. The state has the right to choose between opposing medical theories and to refer the matter to the board of composers of persons residing in the affected locations who are qualified to make determinations. Hell, I can even pick a board of individuals, pay them and tell them to vote a certain type of way. We all know how powerful pharmaceutical companies are here in America. This shit is unbelievable. They continue, the court is not involved in the legislations formed into the state police power, as long as it relates to the public health morals or safety and is not playing the invasion of rights secured by the fundamental laws. Furthermore, it is immaterial whether or not the vaccine is actually effective, so long as it is believed of the state authorities have the mandatory vaccines will promote a common welfare and is reasonable and proper exercise of police power. It is a paramount necessity that the community have the right to protect itself from an epidemic of disease, which threatens the safety of its members. In other words, you have no individual rights or liberties. It's about the rights of the states. This is very dangerous, my people. Now, this is straight from the American Medical Association Journal of Ethics, which is quoting the ruling of Jacobson versus Massachusetts. This may be a good time to remind everybody that the Rockefellers essentially created the American Medical Association, better known as AMA. and effectively took over the entire medical system here in America. So this is exactly what Alan Dershowitz is referring to, my people. And this is also what Bill Gates is referring to as well when he proclaims you don't have a choice. You don't get to say no.
You don't have a choice. People act like you have a choice. People don't.
And then that brings up the argument, if you get vaccinated, why are you concerned about if other people get vaccine? If you have the vaccine inside of you, isn't that supposed to help you not be sick? Why are you worried about if other people are not vaccinated? Because the vaccine should cover you, right? That right there alone lets you people know that this is complete bullshit. Now, just yesterday, Dr. Bitch-made Tony Fauci, who is the head of the NIAID, he's also on the White House Coronavirus Task Force and on the Leadership Council of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for Decades of Vaccines Initiative, stated that the vaccine may actually make the disease worse. I mean, this has been documented, my people. So everyone continues to debate whether or not Trump will mandate coronavirus vaccine, as he stated to also deploy the military to distribute this new vaccine, which he stated on record.
Should we get to a place where the White House is in corporate America, where every time you go to work, you just get your temperature taken, you get a test? Is that where we're going?
You don't want to be doing that. Look, we want to go back to, like, you want to see a baseball game or you want to see a basketball or football, you want to walk into a stadium. I went to the Alabama LSU game last year. They had 110,000 people in the stadium. I don't want to see 25,000 people where you have empty seats all over the place because of distancing.
When do you think we could get back to that, Mr. President? How long is this going to take to get back to normalcy?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a vaccine by the end of the year. We're doing very well with the vaccine. And I will tell you something, I just literally left a meeting. We're mobilizing our military and other forces, but we're mobilizing our military on the basis that we do have a vaccine. You know, it's a massive job to give this vaccine. Our military is now being mobilized. So at the end of the year, we're going to be able to give it to a lot of people very, very rapidly.
And you're just doing something with syringes as well, so that you can have it plentiful.
That's right.
You have enough vaccine.
We will have the tremendous force, because assuming we get it, then you have to distribute it.
Right.
And unless you're mobilized and ready, you're not going to be able to do it for a long time. So we're starting now. We're of the assumption that by the end of the year, we're going to have a vaccine, and then we have to be able to give it, to use it on most of our population.
Yeah.
Now we'll focus on elderly. We're going to focus on nursing home and senior citizen centers. Because that's really, if you look at it, that is a very vulnerable group. It's a terrible thing. But so we're going to be focused on that. We're going to go
Can
with
you
the
divide
vaccine.
the country saying, okay, if you're below 50, you're healthy and strong, you're okay, go back to work. Elderly, divide them.
Well, we're doing that, and I'm actually saying, like with the schools, open the schools. But if a teacher is 65 or older, especially if they have diabetes, if they have a bad heart, if they have a problem, we say relax for a longer period of time. But if you look, there's been very little damage done to people that are healthy and young and, frankly, medium-aged people.
Y'all want to know something, my people? Trump doesn't really have to. The state legislations can mandate vaccines under the legal precedent established by the Supreme Court. Now, what do you people know about the eugenics program? The eugenics was a movement that was established right here in America, and they are the same people who are pulling the strings, running the show, and setting up these United Nations groups. They are the same people today. These are eugenics. And that bitch-made boy Bill Gates is on record wanting to lower the population of the world. Also, his bitch-made ass father sat on the board of Planned Parenthood, which is also a front of eugenics. Basically, population control is what it boils down to. And they had programs right here in the United States that were conducting eugenics population control here in this country, my people. And these motherfuckers funded the Nazi programs in Germany right after World War II. Basically, the Nazis got a bad portion and bad stigma, and the eugenics had to go underground behind that. They didn't go away, my people. They just went underground. Now, according to the NIH website, the National Institute of Health website, they go on to question these constitutional of these forcible mandated compulsory vaccine laws. State, given the changes in the constitutional law, public health and government regulations will counter public health laws that may address the contagious diseases might be consensually permissible today. A law that authorized mandatory vaccinations during the epidemic of lethal disease with refusal punishable by a monetary penalty like the one of Jacobson versus Massachusetts will undoubtedly be found unconsensual under the law. consensual test of rationality review. However, the vaccine will have to be approved by the FDA, which we all know they full of shit. As safe and effective, the law will have to require exemptions for those who have contradictions to the vaccine, my people, which they will make extremely difficult. And they will probably limit your interactions in society, whether it's traveling, going to work, or going to the store. Hell, who knows? They are gonna try to make it very difficult, my people. We see where their agenda is going. Keep going. The legitimacy compulsory vaccination programs depend on the scientific factors, and consensual limit scientific factors include the prevalence, incidence of severity of the contagious disease, the mode of transmission, the safety and the effectiveness of the vaccine, and preventing the transmission and the nature of any available treatment. Consensual limits, including protecting against the unjustified bodily intrusion, such as forcible vaccination, individuals at risk for adverse reaction, and physical restraints, unreasonable penalties for refusal. They are going to make it extremely difficult for you to prove that the vaccine can cause you harm. It's sort of like trying to prove that the vaccine manufacturers are undoubtedly trying to intentionally injure you with their vaccinations, even though they are filled and loaded with lots of toxic ingredients. Now, there's one other part here that's extremely interesting, my people. Protecting the country against a terrorist introduction of smallpox will fall within the federal jurisdiction of national security. Now, I want you people to pay very close attention. Just a couple weeks ago, Bill Gates was asked, since we didn't listen to him when he tried to warn us about the coronavirus, what's next?
We're not listening to that we need to take action on now.
Well, the idea of a bioterrorist attack is kind of the nightmare scenario, because they're a pathogen with a high death rate.
And this bitch-made ass boy Bill Gates warned us of a bioterror attack. And that removes the power of the legislators of the state level and give it to the federal government in the form of national security. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just telling you what Bill Gates and what the media is saying. Also, if this is your first time watching my video, make sure you follow me at Instagram at Mr.6_foot_5. YouTube, these bitches keep continuously deleting all of my fucking videos. Facebook continuously keep blocking me. The only way that I'm able to talk to you people is through Instagram. So make sure you follow me, man. As I always stated, man, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Yahweh Shah, Shalawah, Shalawah, Shalom, my people.